Hello, everyone. It's time for Buzztime here at iZoom iRadio. It's so nice to have you with us today. We're going to take a few minutes now to talk to a local celebrity. She's taking the microphone off the stand and hand-holding it. So, Leanne Garms is here with us today, one of the many partners we have here on iZoom Radio and Built Buzz Launch. And we're going to speak with radio personality, life coach, author. She has many titles under her belt. Ashley Berges. Ashley, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Earl. It's good to be here.
Now, I get many titles, and we want you to kind of give our audience a little taste of what you do, kind of give a rundown of what it is.
Well, first off, I'd have to say that I'm human. So, as a person, I'm a human being. I do what humans do. I think that'd be first thing. I'm a woman. My name is Ashley Berges, and the next thing I would say is that I am in radio. So we met actually on the show on KLAF 570, and I have a show every Sunday. It's called Perspectives with Ashley Berges, and it's from 8 to 9 p.m. every Sunday night. And we like hearing other people's perspectives. We discuss all kinds of different things. A lot of social topics, and everything is really just not time sensitive. It's something that we've all dealt with day in and day out since the beginning of time. I think you can even go back to the cave women and cavemen, and they had their issues as well. And in the last few shows, I met with Tammy Dombeck on one recently, and she had recently lost her job with NBC and had come back with CBS, and it's interesting to see the fallout as well as all the things that she's gone through in the last 9 months and change. And when you listen to what somebody's gone through, you kind of get the backstory. It's not necessarily about she was on the news or what have you. It's about what they're truly going through and their perspective in life. And this last Sunday we discussed some really great stuff as well, discussing about haters. And I know that sounds like a really crass word, and it really is, but there is a type of haters. We have those people that hate to our face, right? And that they don't like you, and that's fine. You accept it, you move on. And then there's other people that are kind of undercover haters, and that's what we were really talking about. And Tammy and I were discussing that as well, is that there's people that, instead of really helping you or going that step further to really just ensure your success, they just overlook it. They just accept it. They see a Facebook post or something like that, and they ignore it. As well as maybe you have a book out or you're doing something or career-wise and they ignore it. And I think to be a real straight friend and a straight shooter, you want to try to help everybody and try to help them get what they want in life. And so that's kind of the consistency of different things that we talk about, as well as we love people calling in, telling us about all kinds of family issues, and I like to help people deal with their personal issues as well and get them on solid ground.
Now, you're a coach also, aren't you, Ashley?
Yes, I am.
And so is that where that comes from? People call in, and I'm more of a journalist PR person, but yeah, I've studied NLP, and I try to coach my business partners, don't I, Raul?
Oh yes, she had a whistle around her neck. It would be official.
That's not true. Well, what kind of coaching do you do?
Leanne, I actually am a NLP master life coach, and then deal with life coaching issues as well as weight loss, and also the stop smoking addiction type thing as well.
Tell everybody what NLP is.
Ooh. Well, I don't want to scare anybody off here, but it's a neuro-linguistic practitioner. So it's I know that you went through some of the classes.
I did. And when you break it down, it's neuro, right? Brain, all of and linguistics. So yes. Words, your tongue, how we speak. So
how we think, how we feel, how we speak, the way we allow things to affect us, the way we don't allow things to affect us.
Right. And so some people have kind of an aversion to NLP. Is it because a lot of people call it not you're a practitioner, but NLP is called neuro-linguistic programming, so it sounds like you're programming you're brainwashing them or something like that.
We're going to put you in this room, we're going to brainwash you.
Right.
We're going to play this music
NLP
over and over again. You're going to walk out, you're going to become a monk, and you're going to sell all your stuff, and you're going to sell it to us at a really cheap cost. No, that's not what NLP is.
Exactly.
I mean, NLP really, honestly, is trying to figure out the human condition. We all have these issues. We all have these things that we harbor, whether it's from the womb, which there's investigation being done at this time about that, or is it from our environment? Is it our family? Is it our upbringing, the things that we're accustomed to, the things that we feel? I think that a lot of people say that, and it's documented, that people's personality and the things that they go through are basically set by age 2. Mm-hmm. And so I don't agree that your life should be harnessed down to what happened to you before the age of 2. I think that we all have the ability to take our life in our own hands and do something great with it, as well as the fact that I agree that therapy is good. But at the same point in time, sometimes people want to get faster than therapy. Sometimes instead of doing 3 years of really excessive, really deep psychotherapy, they would prefer to kind of get over some of these struggles within maybe a few months.
Right.
You know, and that's where NLP comes in.
And there's some real practical techniques of kind of jump starting or bypassing some of that initial programming that we've gotten, right?
Definitely. Especially with phobias and things like that, too. I mean, some people's, fear of spiders or anything like that can be overwhelming. And it can take, years of even immersion therapy, which some people oh gosh, that's just ridiculous. Some people you can't do that with. And NLP can function in that kind of realm as well, and provide for the individual in quicker small doses, as well as not submersion. I think there are certain things that you can't submerge somebody. If somebody has PTSD, the last thing you're going to do is say, hey, let's go to the shooting range and let's go shoot some.
Exactly.
I mean, I know that happened to you in Afghanistan, but let's go to the shooting range and shoot. No, that's submersion therapy, and actually we just had a recent situation where that happened, where a Navy SEAL was killed by at the range with a fellow person with PTSD.
Yeah. We just did a conference on holistic healing with one of our clients, Dr. Peter Rappa, and he kind of gets into the spirituality and the energy of healing, and it goes back into some of that programming, but he gets at it coming from it as a physician. He takes it down to the cellular level. So talking about PTSD, those things actually get into the cells of your body. And then one of our other presenters was a yoga chakra therapist who actually works with people who've been through trauma and physically works out the trauma out of the body. And
wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, she's taking it into the prison system too. But it's fascinating stuff, how our brain works and how our body works, and how it all manifests into who we are every day.
I agree with that, because I think when you break it down, people say, the cell is made out of mitochondria, right? And so things are in the cell. And I think that a lot of times people say, oh, you're a negative person, you're in a bad mood, this and that. Just get over it. Just think positively, and it'll go away. Well, the problem is that when somebody's programmed themselves that from day one or for however long, it's inside your cell, I believe. Exactly. And so I agree that I'd like to meet that doctor as well, and especially the lady that's doing the holistic healing, and possibly go into the prison systems to activate that as well, because I think that sometimes you can tell somebody to do something and get over it. Other times you can give them schooling, but at the same time, if that's just masking a central problem, it's like taking a pill. If it's just masking it, it's just going to be there later on, dormant or waiting. Exactly.
And Dr. Rappa talks about that too. Now, he is a physician, so he will give them pills when it's advantageous. If they're agitated and they can't do anything with them, well, yeah, they might give them something to bring them down, and then they can start working on the real problem. But it all works together. And Michelle Andre is her name. She's at Lotus Yoga Dallas, and she's writing a book. We're helping her write her book and get it out there, and actually specifically to help treat PTSD. So.
Wow, that's awesome. And there's a lot of people with that disease at this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you could, you've done 3 books so far, with one on the way.
Oh yes, 3 books so far, and working on book number 4 now.
What are the other 3 that are they available?
Titles?
Oh yeah, all 3 books that are currently out are available on Amazon for the paperback, as well as the digital, and on iTunes for the digital. The first book is Live Your True Life, and that's basically a foundation book based upon finding your true calling and eliminating those negative people and those energy suckers in your life that have a tendency of taking you away from what you need to do. And it's not about, okay, this person's negative, avoid them. It's about, how do you feel when you're around someone? So let's go down to the symptoms of your body. If you are around somebody, you walk into a meeting, you're feeling great, you leave that meeting and you feel completely like you have no energy, you completely beat down, you need to start recognizing those people that you're feeling that way with, because there's this negative energy. There's something that they're taking from you. And then I talk about not only the symptoms, but how to deal with those people, how to change the situation, and how to make it work for you. But also it's about boundaries. It's about putting specific boundaries up. It's about loving yourself. It's about respecting yourself enough to do what's right by you, and not to let other people tell you what to do and bully you around, And
I think women have lot harder time with setting those boundaries sometimes than men do. So
I think across the board, I agree with you. I think across the board, most people can't set boundaries at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see it at all. Most people can't. And I think it's because we want everybody to love us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, what if they don't love me? What am I going to do? Well, you know what? It's hard because as kids, we grow up and we want our parents to love us, and we want our parents to play with us, whether it's catch in the backyard, whether it's cooking and baking with mom, whatever it is, we want them to love us and find this love. And so you're basically jumping through hoops and doing cute dances and running around and whatever, trying to impress your parents. You continue to do that through your life.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, there's some people you don't want to like you. And you learn it the hard way. And sometimes you don't need to fit in. And that's what this book is about, is that sometimes when you're really forcing yourself into a situation, eventually, yes, you will get in. But then you'll realize you never wanted to be in.
Yeah, you don't want to be there. So, and what's the name again? Live a True Life?
Live your true life.
Live your true life.
Live yours, not mine. Live your true life. And so the book has also been translated. I found a wonderful philosophy professor, actually, in Mexico City, that translated Live Your True Life, and so that's available as well on Amazon and iTunes, paperback, digital, and it's Viva tu Vida Verdadera. Vive tu Vida Verdadera. Vive tu Vida Verdadera. Say that a bunch of times. It says Live Your True Life, right? So, and I think it sounds so much better in Spanish. I mean, it just sounds like the language of love. I guess, that would be like Italian, too. We can do Italian, but we don't have an Italian one. So, bypass that. So the third book is the 10-day challenge to live your true life.
Cool.
And so I have created a timeline and a 10-day system instead of being something completely arbitrary where you think you're going to get this book and nothing's going to change. Instead, I give you a time period, and it actually works. It actually works. If you actually do these things, at least even part of it, it works. And a lot of people use it as a guidebook, too. They go back and forth. But I've seen some major changes. I've seen people quit smoking. Literally, the last page of the book, they quit smoking, and it's not just the smoking thing. Some of these people have been through rehab in the past and have been alcohol free for 20 years, and the cigarette is all they had to cling on to, and they were able to give that up after reading this book, and happy about doing it and realizing, okay, I'm hurting myself. And it's not about giving up addictions. This book is not about, oh, you're a bad person, you drink. Oh, you're a bad person, you smoke. No, it's not about that. I think it's within everybody, whatever they find that they think they have to work on. It could be personal relationships. It could be relationships with mom or dad. It could be a relationship with your kids. It could be basically anything. It could be respecting yourself or going back to school. Or it could be quitting smoking. Or it could be, putting yourself into a rehab facility and getting clean off of a drug. It just depends. And it speaks to everybody on a totally different level.
Right.
Yeah.
And book number 4 out to be soon.
Book number 4 is actually going to be titled A Pure Thought, Methodology and Reason. And so Pure Thought will be coming out here pretty soon.
Okay.
And that's going to be really neat. That's going to take this to the next extreme. And basically it's taking all the stuff with the culmination of what we've been talking about before and adding that into a more advanced human that really, don't let people get them down. They don't let people get in their way. They don't allow people to be barriers to their success. But also they function on a different level too because they see it all, they understand it all, and they can also accept it in a loving manner and not be angry about what they see. Because I think a lot of times when you think somebody's screwing you over, right, you go, oh, I'm so angry. I can't believe this is happening to me. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, if you really sit back and look at it, at one point in time, we were all in that place at one point in time to some degree. And if you can really just accept it and understand it from where it is and see it from a distance, your life is so much easier. And then if it doesn't affect you in a negative, adverse way, then it's even that much better.
Right. Now, aren't we somewhat responsible for those sorts of things anyway? I mean, we play a role in it, right?
We can, and yes, we can, and I do agree that there's some sort of part of it. But in the same concept and construct is a lot of times we keep people around us because we're too scared to let them go, mm-hmm. or we're insecure, or we're lonely. And I think a lot of times people get lonely and they spend time with people that maybe they don't need to be spending time with, and maybe spending more time with self and getting to know self more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really can do a major cleanse, and also put things in perspective and allow them to accept themselves a little better. Because I think a lot of times some men, more specifically than women, would rather have anybody than come home to an empty house.
Mm-hmm. So, are you a meditator then? Do you meditate?
I
have
do
a meditation
meditate.
practice. Yeah.
I do a lot of active meditation though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that. I prefer running
Kind
around
of define
in a circle.
that, would you?
Oh, running around in a circle for an hour straight. And I'm serious. I mean, an hour straight. That's some good active meditation.
Does this circle anywhere in particular?
Well, you choose some living room of some sort because you're going to lay down right after that. Or, a good workout works. But if you can just quiet your mind, and you could be basically doing anything. I prefer to not be driving, but you can. But, once you get good at it, you can do it anywhere, right? But I think meditation is just literally clearing your mind and having no thought. No thought. When somebody's talking to you, not thinking at all about what your response is going to be, not thinking at all about, how somebody's thinking about you or feeling about you. It's about you just being within you and understanding you.
How can our listeners get in touch with you?
Wow, that's a big question right there. Okay. I don't know. Wow.
You don't know.
After all that, I don't know. I'm going to have to meditate on that.
They got to get this information from you.
I'm going to have to quiet my mind and really think about that. The best way to find me, there's two ways. First is you can check out the website at www.liveyourtruelife.org, liveyourtruelife.org. Or you can check out the show, Perspectives with Ashley Berges, every Sunday evening live, and I said live, on 570 KLIF, and that's from 8 to 9 p.m., Perspectives with Ashley Berges. And we want to hear your perspective, so you can call in at any time at 888-787-5543, and we want to hear what you have to say.
Spoken like a true radio personality.
She did sound like a radio person, didn't she?
Hey, it's great to have you here on Buzztime with us. You going to come back and visit again?
Most definitely.
We found out you live close by, so we'll be pestering you a lot.
Well, not only do I live close by, but I see you all the time, so I can come pester you all the time in the studio. I will be here for sure, and I'm going to be telling everybody about iZoom Internet Radio.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having me. I love it. Y'all are wonderful.
Thanks.
Y'all are wonderful.
Thanks.
Y'all are wonderful.